continue. There we go. If you have any questions or comments you want to put into the chat, I will do my very best to continue to answer those as we go along. So I'm excited to see so many faces here. My name is Mark Hamill. I'm the camp director. Many of you look extremely familiar, which is awesome. Love seeing all the names and faces. Definitely missed camp last year. I'm excited to introduce our awesome team of administrative staff. Returning this year as our program director is Kristen Farrell, and she's always excited, better known as Pink Boots. And our head commissioner, who is not in this room, I don't think yet, maybe he is, I don't know, is Brett Branscombe. So our team is excited to be back together. We've been working hard for the last, 18 months, 24 months, I don't know, forever to get ready for this season. So we're super excited just to get to camp. In fact, we cheat as much as we can, and we just go visit the property because that's where we want to be all the time. So lots of exciting stuff. As we just mentioned, and hopefully Skip has put it into the chat, the leader's guide is up and ready to rock and roll. We've worked on it diligently to make sure that it is as easy to follow as possible. Some of the things that is going to be in there, I left some of the old language, such as family barbecue on Thursday night and closing campfire on Thursday night, though it has a disclaimer right at the beginning that states that this year we will not be doing those events due to the COVID. So a lot of the family things that we cannot do, we will not be doing. So you can have parents aware that, for example, visitors, unannounced visitors, they will not be able to come and check out the property. Everything's going to be scheduled ahead of time. So don't make sure that people don't pop in. Wednesday nights, pack out night, which often a lot of you bring in a lot of visitors to come in on Wednesday night and do the pack out dinner with you all. We will not be able to do that either. We will not be able to have guests on property to do Wednesday night. So a lot of those type things, it's going to change a little bit of the dynamics of the camp, but it's all about the safety so that we can operate the camp for all 7 weeks this summer. And that is our plan, our goal, to operate a day camp and a resident camp full time. The other thing is going to be on Thursday. Sorry, not Thursday. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my wrong note here. On Sunday, our check-in process is going to change slightly. I don't see if Brett is in here yet or not. I think he's still putting people in the right rooms. On Sunday, our check-in process, each unit is going to be given a time slot about 2 weeks prior to your arrival to camp. So 2 weeks prior to camp, Brett will be contacting every unit, and you'll be given a time slot when you can come on to property. And it'll be about an hour time where parents will be able to come in and drop off kids. The parents will not be able to go around property, will not be able to go to the campsites, will not be able to set up the tents for the kids. So if there's anything that's heavy, the unit is encouraged to bring that all in with the adult leadership this Sunday morning at 8 a.m. when the leaders can come into camp to get the gear out to the sites. So it's going to take a little bit more pre-planning and preparation work to make that happen. When the parents come in, they're going to go to a certain location. We're going to have 5 locations around main camp, around the parking lot, where you're going to go to do your check-in. So you go to that spot with the pack. The pack checks in at that location. Our medical team will do the check-in at that location. And then from there, you'll begin to move. Click Studio will be doing our pictures. They have figured out through the fall and how to do photography, do the pictures with sports teams and whatnot. So they have figured out, they have it down to a science now. They'll be able to do different photos either for the kid individually and for the group as a whole, which is pretty cool to be able to see what they do. So let me see if I can make this work here. Probably not. Nothing's going to work for me when I want it to. So for example, what they've been able to do is take a individual picture from one kid, one leader, individual pictures, and then mash them up to make them into a group photo, which is pretty cool. It looks like they're all staying there together, but those were all individually taken and they're able to make it look like a group photo. So the pack will still get a pack photo. The kids can do their own individual photos. So they'll be happening in that hour time frame. Once that hour is up, that hour-ish is up, then the unit will be heading off to the campsites, and the parents will all be leaving at that point, which means all medical stuff has to be done ahead of time. At this time, we are anticipating that they're going to come back, and the state's going to tell us that all med forms have to be in no less than 2 weeks prior. We know in the past we have had people that have submitted med forms the week before, the Saturday before, the Friday before you all arrive, or even the Sunday, which typically tends to be the leaders. The adult leaders bring them Sunday as you arrive to camp. If that happens, they will not be able to be on property. So they have to have all the med forms done prior to your arrival to camp. So make sure that everybody's aware of that. And of course, as you know, the worst offenders typically are the adult leaders. So now's the time to tell them, hey, please get those med forms in early. At this time, I have had quite a conversation with quite a few nurses. And if you still have nurses out there, EMTs that are interested in possibly helping, volunteering even on a Sunday to help with check-in or helping out with our health lodge, we'd love to have those conversations. Molly looks like she will be returning from our 2019 staff. She's excited. She's been doing a lot of COVID research, and she's excited to get away from the research and get back into camp life. She was so sad when last year wasn't going to happen. So she's excited to come back this year. But we are now operating camp 7 days a week, and she can't work 7 days a week. So we're still looking to have those conversations with any additional nurses and EMTs to help out with Sunday check-in. So please forward those to me. So the Sunday check-in period will be a little bit different than it's been in the past. After that, they'll be able to then go do their swim test as it's been in the past. This past week, while I've been on vacation, Kristen and I worked pretty hard to figure out how to make the program scheduler work. We know that we will not be able to offer free time this summer like we've had in the last few years because we want to make sure contact tracing and all that, cleanliness and wipe down, all that jazz happens so we can safety, so we can continue to operate camp. So we worked pretty hard this week to make sure that we can keep cohorts. We're looking at 10 groups of 10 to 15 on the resident side of programming and 10 groups of 10 to 15 on the day camp side of things. And each group will be moving around the property, kind of following each other so that you don't cross each other's paths, and that there'll be time in between to be able to do the wipe down, which makes it interesting because if you figure that out, each group goes to the waterfront 2 times, plus we have to do swim checks, which gives us a total of 45 blocks at the waterfront, and there's 45, we required 45, and there's only 38 blocks available. So there's a couple times if we have a full camp of resident and a full camp of day camp where we may have resident camp and or day camp overlap to day camp and day camp or resident camp and resident camp, but day camp and resident camp should not cross paths. So we should be all set to make sure the 2 programs work together very well. It was an interesting challenge that Kristen liked to put on me, and I made it work so far. She hasn't found a mistake yet. We'll wait and find out. And she's laughing at me now. So there we go. So what do we have coming up? Well, as we talked about signups, please contact Val if your pack is interested in attending camp, because obviously we're going to have to cap off some weeks because of numbers. We can't have a full camp we've had in the past because we have to make sure we're able to manage the numbers we have on property. So please sign up early, and that April 1st, get those $100 deposits in. That way we know who's coming to camp. We can do our best planning and make sure we have everybody there. So make sure that happens, the sooner the better. We have a few events definitely coming up. I've had a lot of question about. First off is that April 1st deadline. When can we register by? As we just heard Skip this week. Those should be going live this week. And then we have our Easter event coming up on April 3rd. It's going to be a special shoot, and we're excited to offer for 6 and under, 6 years of age and under. That's 6 years of age, not 6 years of heart age, 6 years of age. We'll be doing a egg hunt, so they'll be able to go out and find those eggs. And then 7 and up, we'll be able to do a BB shoot to earn an egg, a hard-boiled egg, and who knows, they might get a special egg too, with some prizes. So get that special bullseye. So that'll be on April 3rd. I believe that's the right date on it. Those all have gone live. You can actually register for those now. There will be 2 sessions. There'll be a morning session and there'll be an afternoon session. Each session has to be capped at a total of 60 people. So get those registrations in early. The Den Chief training that we've offered for Camp Carpenter is also now live. It just went live today. And that will be offered on the June 5th, 6th. And that is for Camp Carpenter Den Chief training. That is not for the National Den Chief Training Award or training. We'll be doing that to help them be prepared for when you come to camp and how to manage moving everybody around property and having a great time. A little piece of it that we're adding to it is obviously COVID safety. So those Den Chiefs will be prepped and ready to rock and roll. And then we've also been asked over and over and over again, and it is now live. It has gone live, 2020 Arrow Light Bridge Program. You can now register for that. It's $50 to be able to attend that. It'll start at 3 o'clock on Saturday, just like our normal program would, and it'll end on Sunday at 11 o'clock. That is capped at 92 people. And we're excited to offer that. And I have had over, I think, 150 emails. So get those kids registered pretty quickly for that as well. And then, as we know, Cub Scouts cannot shoot BBs or archery unless it is a council-run program, which basically means camp or some district events. And they need range masters to help facilitate the safety of those ranges. So on that June 5th weekend, on June 5th, I think it's 9 to 2, we'll have a range master training. It's $10, and that will give you a 2-year certification to be able to assist at Camp Carpenter weekends and or Granite Base Camp events or district events to come in and help run a range. So we would love to have the more people on that committee, the better. So that has now gone live too, and we'd love to get you on there. Speaking of Granite Base Camp, is the wonderful Alice in here? I can't see her name. There's too many people. Oh, there you are. You're way down there on my screen. So Granite
I'm right
Base
above
Camp.
you on my screen, like on the Brady Bench.
Well, maybe I'll move you above me now. There you go. Okay. So Granite Base Camp, you'd probably like some range people, wouldn't you?
Oh, for sure. We are open every weekend from March 27th through that June 5th date. Every other weekend in the spring, and then we'll be open every weekend starting the Saturday after Labor Day through Thanksgiving. So yes, I will be looking for range people, looking for anybody who wants to come and volunteer and hang out and basically teach the public about the awesome scouting curriculum that we have.
So people, the merrier.
Yes. And I can be found on the council website. If you click on about our staff, you'll find me. There's a picture and a link to my email. There's no bio yet, but.
Well, that's pretty cool. And I definitely asked Allison to come join me today because we've had a lot of people asking about Granite Base Camp and asking about day camp in general this summer. It will be at Camp Carpenter. The day camp will be just like it's been in the past. It's just going to be called Granite Base Camp Day Camp at Camp Carpenter. The program is going to be pretty much the same, but Allison's going to add a little bit of twist to it. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about Granite Base Camp stuff.
So I'm also better if you ask questions. So I'm going to also pop up the chat so I can follow along there. If you have any questions, feel free to post them there. So Granite Base Camp, the idea behind Granite Base Camp is that we are bringing the amazing scouting curriculum that we all know and love to the public. And so our day camp will be open to the public. Obviously, the questions I get from the public are, wait, does that mean it's co-ed? Yes, obviously we're co-ed. They don't always, not everybody realizes that we've admitted girls for the last 3 years. And we will be also holding a scout age camp for kids 11 to 14. I'm going to pull up my document so I can tell you all of what our weeks are. That will be focused specifically on, like, each week will be a different theme. So we're going to have mountain biking week 1 week, we're going to have canoe week 1 week, kayaking week, fort building week, adventure week, which is like a mix between a bunch of different things. We'll actually have 2 adventure weeks throughout the summer, and a cooking week. And so kids who are scouts can earn cycling merit badge, or a good chunk of it. Cycling merit badge does require a 6-hour ride that is, I think, 22 miles long, which would be a hard thing to squeeze in a whole camp day. But they will be very close to have earned mountain biking, or cycling merit badge, the mountain biking option. They'll be working towards canoe and kayak merit badges. Fort building is actually pioneering merit badge. And then cooking is cooking merit badge. And then adventure week is just kind of a week to experience all the cool things that we have to offer at camp. And basically they'll canoe one day, they'll mountain bike one day, they will fort build one day, they'll hike one day, and then the 5th day they'll probably get to hang out mostly in camp and getting ready for campfire and things like that. We will offer a day camp, a Friday campfire. Fingers crossed. That's if I can have parents on the property because of COVID thing. If I can't, we'll figure out, we'll have some sort of event every Friday afternoon. It's just whether or not we can include parents in that event or not. Youth camp is ages 6 to 10, just like regular Cub camp. And the older kids camp is 11 to 14. And adventure cards, the same discount that you can get for camp applies for adventure cards, as well as the early bird discount. And the day camp registration, I have been told, should be live no later than like Wednesday or Thursday of this week. We are working with an outside agency. We're in the process of shifting from one registration system to another. So you've all used Double Knot for years and years and years. Experiencebasecamp.org is the new Basecamp website. It's a collaboration between 3 councils, Daniel Webster Council, Spirit of Adventure Council, and Narragansett Council. And all of you can use your adventure card to access all 3 of those camps, but that's also where a lot of the registration things will happen. And so day camp will be the first big thing we put up there. That's also where your registrations for our spring dates will happen. I don't know. Does anybody have any day camp questions?
Hey, the biggest thing about day camp sounds like is they're going to be able to experience camp in a different atmosphere with youth leadership that's going to be excited to be there.
Yes.
And it's going to be pretty cool because they get to do a lot of the things resident camp does, but not all of them, but they get something special. They get these things called an adventure kit involved in it, correct?
Oh yeah, so the adventure kits that units will be able to take out will also be part of camp. So that's actually tomorrow. I'm going to order all of the parts that go into an adventure, all the adventure kits we're going to often offer. So it'll be like a library for units to be able to take out a kit. And so in order to fit into Mark's schedule, in order to make sure we have enough space for everybody at camp, youth staff will be trained on how to use the adventure kits so that kids will be learning scouting adventures throughout their week while they're there. And the schedule will change. The schedule will change every week. So those kids who come many weeks out of the summer, it won't be the same all the time. They won't be doing the same activities all the time. And they'll get to have opportunities for new stuff so that they are engaged and not bored with us. Question is, you offer adult parent discounts for parents who volunteer for this week, if that is even allowed this year. I have to work that out. So if you don't know, I came from Spirit of Adventure Council, and it was rare that we had volunteers who wanted to help with our day camps. So I need to work that out with Derek. Med forms for day camps, yes. because you will be there for more than 72 hours over a period of time. And we will require it just like you were going to resident camp, so that I have everything I could need in case there's an emergency.
Yeah, a lot of the question comes with med forms is, do we need to have Part C? And the answer is definitely yes, because of the state. The requirements are a little more challenging, so you have to have A, B, and C for any program that operate out of Camp Carpenter during the summer programming. So yes, A, B, and C.
Yeah. Question about mastering waterfront. I would assume that you have to wear it until you are about to enter the water. Is that accurate, Mark?
Yeah, I talked with the medical team, and they're pretty confident the way that we are planning on having the waterfront broken up into areas, and what they've learned over the past year of COVID, that we'll be able to swim and still maintain, and even doing buddy ups, we'll be okay to be able to do that within the cohorts, and the groups will not intermingle or mix. So we'll be okay with that. So masks will be worn pretty much until you enter into the water. There are some logistical things that we're working out details on of how to make that work, but from what I've been told, they will be fine, and they'll be okay up until that point. At this point, we are anticipating wearing masks at camp until CDC or the state comes back and says something different. So there will be a mask wearing component. One of the advantages is obviously we are outside, the kids will be spread out, and they will be able to take mask breaks for sure. And that's built into the schedule as well, as long as they maintain the 6 feet and they follow the COVID rules. So the staff and the adults will be definitely discussed on that when they come to camp, but the staff will be definitely trained on it multiple times.
Yep. If the day camp week for the older scouts lines up with my week, with the week my pack is at camp, this person will be a leader. Can the older scouts stay overnight? That's a really question for Mark. I want to say my day, and the reality of this is kind of a farce, but my day ends after camp, which is 6. So beyond 6 p.m. is actually a Mark question, not an actual day camp question. I will say that day camp is every week that we are there. Every week that Mark is open for resident camp, we are open for day camp.
Yeah, so I don't have a straight answer for that right now, because obviously it's going to be 2 cohorts intermingling, and so I'd have to have a conversation beyond that. So send me an email, and we will continue that discussion, but we'll wait and see. But that would be a 2 cohort mingling, which we have to find out what the recommendations would be on that.
Yep. So yes, somebody asked about a Kayla camp. So yes, we have a Kayla / family camp. The 5 middle weeks of camp. So opening July 9th?
9th sounds right, yeah.
July 9th, and then 5 consecutive weekends after that. I've written it down like 47 times. You would think I could remember the date, but I can't. Yeah, July 9th and 10th, July 16th and 17th, July 23, 24, 30, 31, and August 6th and 7th. The cost for a Kayla camp would be $50 per person without an adventure card and $40 with. If you're a scout, so let me wrap my head around a Kayla first. Friday night, you'll arrive after 6 o'clock or after to set up your tent area and have some adventure, some sort of program or adventure. To be clear, we will not be serving food on Friday night, potentially a snack, but not a meal. So please come ahead, having eaten ahead or plan to eat, cold dinner or something like that. And then Saturday morning will be open program. So we'll be open to the public as well. But families who are part of, who are there for a Kayla camp will get to participate in open program of Granite Base Camp.
So a lot of the difference of that from people that have been in the past, it won't follow the same Kayla program that we've had in the past. It's going to follow more of our family camping weekend schedule and programming that we've had in the past. So we'll still have the Kayla opportunity. We'll still have the Kayla interactions, but it will not be the 3 days that it's been in the past. It'll be just a 1 night and then a Saturday programming.
Yes. And then the other question is, would like to know if there'll be a lion, tiger day camp program. So the issue is I cannot take a 5-year-old. That is against NCAP or standards. I can take a 6-year-old. And so that's why the program runs 6 to 10. If you have a 6-year-old, like that's where the line is. It's all about age, 5 or 6. So that's that one.
Right. In our Lion Tiger program we've had in the past, because of the 7 weeks of day camp operation and the way the program has been running, that we'll be running with the cohorts, we won't be able to offer the same program we've definitely done in the past, unfortunately.
Yes, and Mason, I see you asking about, since we're going to be running 7 days a week, is the rotation going to be, how is it going to work? Mark and I are working on that.
It's going to be magical.
The short answer is, will you be able to split it? Yes, because we're going to need your help on days that are different days off than they used to be. That's the short.
Talk about in staffing for sure later.
And know who is doing, how would we be able to split it and know who is doing what? There will be a fun schedule that I'm sure Kristen will fight through the scheduler with us for. And yeah, we'll figure that out. But yes, so there will be staff. There will not be Granite Base Camp staff. There will not be Camp Carpenter staff. There will be staff. And the only difference is, and everybody is trained the same way, especially everybody will be there the whole staff week. And trained in the exact same way. So it doesn't matter where you land, you'll be able to do the job that you are offered, the job that you are given in any given week. Is there a Provo overnight, Mark?
There is no Provo program at this time because of cohorting and recommendations for units and whatnot. If those change, we do have Plan B in progress. We're looking at different options. We do have a Cub Master that is interested in helping out for a couple weeks. So it may not be an entire summer program, maybe a 3-4 week program if we are able to offer it. But at this time, we are not anticipating having a Provo program just because of the requirements going forward. If you have a kid that is interested in participating, if you can connect with another unit and everybody is in agreement, that's a different conversation. But right now we're not offering a Provo program.
The question about dining halls and COVID protocols will be determined when the state's final document comes out. Right now we're still in draft form. There have been some changes, but we can't really speak to the official rules until they are done.
Right. We have talked about multiple different ways to do the dining hall. So there are plans. We had a conversation with the food service last week. There are plans in place, but we got to wait until we get the state's approval.
So there's 2 resident camp questions. The first one is, nope, I went too far, sorry. I read that one already. Are Lion Tigers with parent able to go to resident camp?
Tigers are able to go to resident camp. Tigers must have a one-on-one parent, and that one-on-one does not count towards the pack's leadership. So they have to have a one-on-one for the Tigers. Lions are not able to go to the resident program at this time.
And then will scouts be able to share tents together or just siblings?
So at this time, the recommendations for sleeping quarters, our tents are of size as long as we're sleeping head to toe. So one on one side of the tent facing one direction, one on the other side facing the other direction, and the cots are not put together in the middle. If the cots are separated out to both sides, we can do sleeping quarters at this time. Of course, anybody is welcome to bring their own tent and sleep by themselves. That is possible, but at this time we have the recommendations. Our tents fit within those recommendations, and they should be okay. Obviously, you should be buddied up and stay with the same buddy all week long. Should not be changing as much as possible. And you can also put a tent in a tent if you need to, but at this time, we are separating out.
Scouts of the same pack be grouped together in cohorts during base camp, day camp? No, not necessarily, I should say. Group cohorts in day camp are based on age, just like ranks. But they'll be cohorted together all week long. Like the cohorts won't mix.
I saw another question about that. The pack will be obviously cohorted with the pack. If you have a group that's larger than that 10 to 15, yes, we will have it into two different groups. Programmatically, we can only offer up to 15 for safety reasons and cleaning. So hopefully a pack isn't at 16 kids or 18 kids, but we'll do our very best to maintain and split up the pack. Now, when we split up a pack like that, because you're so large, please make sure that each cohort stays together. You don't switch between the two different groups of the pack, because we'll have to be checking that on a daily basis. We're looking at a different way to do a daily check-in with like a COVID convenient MD type thing. So many of you using those for schools right now. So we would have to do a daily check-in, and we know which people go with which cohort. So hopefully people stay within that cohort. Will they be mixed with another group? If a pack is smaller than the 10 to 15, will they mix with another group? Hoping the answer is going to be no. We don't know that until our numbers come in, but if your unit is, hopefully around that 10 magical number, we'll keep that group together as a group. We're right now, from the numbers we've seen from the registrations, we should be able to manage that, so we should be okay. That's why it's very important to get those registrations into Val the sooner that we can, the better, so that we don't have to mix packs together.
The question about tiger pricing, is that day camp tiger pricing or resident tiger pricing? I can tell you that the price for day camp is the same for everyone. I'm
pulling up right now.
Overnight.
So I pulled up the wrong chart. Hold on. So for tigers, here we go. So if a scout is attending with no adventure card, so without an adventure card, the price for tiger with the parent is $550, and the price with an adventure card is $500. So that covers the parent and the child, and there is no early bird fee on that one. That's all the way up until registration. So $550 with no card, $500 with an adventure card. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Does a 15 include adults or just youth? We are counting just youth in the programming, so adults would be over that number. We're looking at program and materials used in the program. Obviously, we know adults do tend to participate, and we encourage that as much as we can. The youth come first, so that 10, we're looking at scouts.
All right, so I'll take on the adventure card question. Currently, we are only set up for individual registration because the $48 adventure card is a special price. The price for the public is actually $75. And so we are set up individually. However, if you want to register your pack, we've had a couple of different units do it that way, which is fine. If you send me an email, I can send you the document. I'm putting my email in the chat right now. I can send you the document that allows me to do your adventure cards as a group. What'll happen, how that happens is you send me your document, and then I wait until Stephanie tells me that she's received your check. Once she receives your check, then I send it to the company that inputs our adventure cards, and then you'll get an email from them that says, I think it comes from Experience Basecamp. I just got mine over the weekend, actually. It comes from Experience Basecamp, and each kid will get them, and then they have to activate them. And then you'll have those, and those are based on the email address that are tied to them. So for example, now when I log into experiencebasecamp.org. My own, I use the email that's tied to my son's account, and then that website knows that he gets all the different discounts that exist. So, Mark, can adult leaders change midweek? One leader for first half of the week, different leader for second half.
That's a great question. I think I saw Brett in here. Yes, Brett, that is going to be your problem to solve. So I'll let you start to tackle that one.
I'm not sure as if we've talked too much more about exactly how guidelines would impact that. We'll keep an eye on it. If there's a change from what we've done in the past, we'll be sure to communicate that out. We would certainly want to try to limit the number of changes we're making. So if someone needs to switch in a week, that'd be better than if someone's coming in the morning and leaving in the afternoon and coming in the next morning. The more we can limit it and consolidate those would be better. But that is definitely something we'll have more conversations about and let people know if there's a change from past process.
Where do den chiefs fall? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Is that for, in terms of a cohort? That's probably what they're asking.
Yeah, so it would be still the 10 Cub Scouts. The den chief would not count in that 10 Cub Scout per that group, so that they'd be able to join and participate as well. Obviously, den chief is there to be the role model and guide them in the right direction.
So the question about is registration changing so that each scout would do it differently? Camp registration is not changing for this year. It will change for next year. Fingers crossed we are breaking up with double knot. And so right now, what'll happen in terms of getting your adventure card discount is that it's going to be some back end work on our part. I get a list every week of how many of our adventure card users, and I forward that on so that they get the discount as needed.
All right. I saw Victor's question, so here we go. Since I knew he was going to ask me this. So here you go. It is available online. You can find the registration online. It all has been updated. I have the link. It's supposed to be in the chat, but I don't know where Skip put it. So resident campers, early bird without a card is the $450. Without a card, the full fee is $480. The change was from the original discussion. The early bird with the card is $400. It was $410. It is $400, and the full fee with the adventure card is the $430. And so make sure you get those deadlines. Every unit will get 2 free adults for the first 5 scouts. Every additional 6 scouts, they need to have an additional leader. So on the 6th scout, you need to have 3 adult leaders. So when you have 6 kids, 3 adult leaders, 2 of them are free. 1 has to pay the $180. The unit can split that up however they want to. Once you hit, add 6 more to 5, which means to 11. So when you get your 12th scout, you need to have 4 adult leaders. In the leader's guide, there is this chart that will explain that. Obviously, when you have 4 adult leaders, 2 are free, 2 have to pay. Each unit gets 1 free den chief. Any additional den chiefs are $180. The AOL bridge, the June dates, the cost is $50. For 2021, this summer, it's going to be $55. And that is for a youth and an adult for the bridge during the summer. So any additional adults is $55. And then the different dates and whatnot coming up. We have the virtual camp leader meeting on May 23rd or May 26th. You do not have to attend both of those. That is going to be directly to the adult leaders that are attending camp. The most up-to-date, how to move forward, ways to make your life easier when you arrive to camp. So that's what those 2 are scheduled for. Those are not the camp director chat meetings. The camp director chat meetings will continue as we move forward each month. We will continue to host these as we get more and more information comes forward.
Yes, if you have less than 5 cubs, you still get 2 free leaders because you must have at least 2 leaders per unit. Mark, there seems to be some pricing confusion. Is it 510 or 500 with the tiger with the adventure card?
It's supposed to be 500.
Yeah, it's $50 off just to have your adventure card.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 500. And so if you found it somewhere where it says 510, please let me know, and I will make sure I get that fixed and updated. The adult ratios for bridge are not the same because of the way the program is being structured, because of the way the number of adult leaders we've had in the past, and because of the new COVID restrictions. We can't offer the free leadership. So that's why it's going to have, it's still it's a $50 to $5 price per youth per adult for that weekend or for those weeks. The weekend one is the $50, and for Brett, we just changed it for the 2020. We did give a discount for the adults. What was it? 30? I think it was $30.
No. Does a tiger parent who is also registered leader count toward leader count as far as the 2 required for a group? And I understood no.
Correct.
Our Spirit of Adventure and Granite State Adventure cards transitional or do discounts not apply? They do apply. They are what's the word I want?
You can go anywhere.
You can go anywhere. That's not the word I wanted. Yeah, but yeah, it's open to all. So say you want to go to a Saturday at Spirit of Adventure, you can use your adventure card there. Their registration is the same through the Experience Base Camp. You just choose your camp first, and then it'll tell you what dates are open. Also, if you're going to participate in one of their premium programs, which is probably not Cub Scouts, so probably not, but you get all the same discounts, or you get the discounts that they offer. But it's no different. It's the same card. Reciprocal. Thank you, Brett.
There you go. Hey, when and how can we purchase those adventure cards?
So you've received a couple of each participant, I believe, has received an email that says you can order your adventure card. It's a specific link just for Daniel Webster. If you go to register for day camp, when it's up, it's going to say, if you're part of Daniel Webster, you should click here first to make sure you have your adventure card. But it's an independent link. I have the link if you want to. Well, you guys are all Daniel Webster Scouts, so I can put that here without being worried about that. So give me 1 second and I can put that in the chat.
There are a few Spirit Adventure people here, but they're awesome. They get it. They know how it works.
They've already purchased theirs anyway. They don't want to do it twice.
Well, maybe David does. David would like to buy me one, I think. Is that correct, David?
So that's the Daniel Webster Adventure Card website if you'd like to buy your adventure card there. And most people, as far as I understand, don't go to multiple weeks of resident camp. But I do want to be clear that the adventure card gets you $50 off per week of day camp, if that's something you're looking for.
If the parents aren't allowed into the campsite this year, they're planning for additional staff to assist. Unfortunately, we will have our typical staff guides and other, others available to assist. But we have streamlined our staff in the programming. So we are going to have a very streamlined small staff going into the summer. So there won't be a lot of additional help, but there will be additional time in the schedule to make that happen. So there will be staff to assist in that, in the guide capacities, and then there'll be extra time to make that happen as well.
So the question about, as the camp chair, will I need any specific information from families regarding their adventure card? You'll just need to know the name. We'll check it against our lists. No problem.
Age recommendation for a den chief. Basically, we want them to be responsible. We don't want to give you a specific age. We don't want to have an Arrow of Light 2, first year scout basically coming back to Camp Carpenter to be a den chief, because then they're not enough age separation, growth, responsibility to be able to act as a role model. Our recommendation is usually 13 is usually a good age to start. But we do know that there are some kids that are not ready to be a den chief at 13. So we let you as the leaders make that decision, the best for that youth, best as a role model. They're not there to be campers and to participate in the program fully. They're there to act as role models, assist, and guide the younger kids. So our recommendation is usually around the 13, but we let you stand by that. And sometimes parents think that their kid is super responsible, but you know them a little bit differently when it comes to being at camp. And we will be there to help and assist you when that happens.
Yes, that's correct, Stephen. Because a tiger, according to the standards, a tiger requires their own adult. And so to meet the standard, you can't be a tiger adult and somebody else's adult.
At this time, we have not set a date for our next camp directors chat, but it will probably be near the end of the month, as we know stuff is coming out from the state in the next week or so. And we have a few more meetings with our risk management, our medical team, and whatnot. And as we will continue to plan to make sure that we are best prepared, we will put together another camp directors chat, and we'll be able to give you more up-to-date as information as we possibly can. Our goal is not to surprise you with anything. We want to be as transparent as possible moving forward. So we'll continuously have these conversations so that everybody can get the up-to-date information.
So Megan, I can speak for day camp that we will have flags every morning. It will just, the cohorts will all be spread out. And then if you have to split a pack into multiple cohorts, do you want the leaders to stay with the cohort the whole time? Yes, the goal is to keep your group, to keep any germs that your group might have in your germs.
As it goes for resident camp, we are looking at a few different options, how to make that work. We cannot have a full camp at our flag area. The playground is a little too small, so we're looking at different options to make that happen. And how we're going to do that, we're not quite sure yet. We have a few choices. As we get closer, we'll let you know. But we will still run a flag ceremony, or the unit will run a flag ceremony each day, as we are scouts. But we're figuring out how to make it work. As for opening campfire, I've been asked that question. We have enlarged our council ring, and it looks like the opening campfire on Sunday nights, we will be able to spread out far enough around the council ring in cohorts to be able to have an opening campfire with the resident program. We will not be able to do it on Thursday night with the closing with all the parents that come in. So that's why that'll be changed on Thursday night. Though we do have a plan at this time on Thursday or on Wednesday or Thursday, your unit will have a scheduled campfire time or council ring time where we will be recording some of your skits and songs, and then we'll try to release it. Our goal is Friday night so that you can watch it as a group. That's our goal. We'll see how it rolls once camp time comes. So there will still be a closing campfire. It just may not be at camp. It may have to be virtual.
Have emergency procedures been discussed? That's something that all the staff get trained in? I'm not sure if you're looking for something different. You're talking about in COVID, because of COVID? Yeah, so that'll happen during staff training.
Yep. I mean, I know the little bit where the question's going there. Obviously, lightning is one of our biggest concerns. Traditionally, we have moved everybody to the dining hall. There are other locations that we can do lightning sheltering. We will have to definitely use those this summer if that does occur. So we are in the process of training the staff, coming with our plans on how to make that as effective and efficient as possible. So we will release those once we are locked down with recommendations.
We don't know yet, Mason. Again, Mason's asking about the dining hall, and that's gonna really depend on what the state standards say, or the state recommendations for day camp say.
Correct. If you have to split it because of programming size, I foresee the cohorts staying together in the same campsite. Brett only has so much space to put people to sleep. So the pack will stay together. It will be just the scheduling for programming where the cohorts may be split up if your pack is too large. All right. Once again, we appreciate everybody tuning in with us this evening. I know there's a lot of information we continuously are getting. We're constantly getting questions. We appreciate that. Continue to send me questions. I will do my very best to answer them. This week I was awesome because I was on a vacation. I was able to get caught up on all my emails. I think, knock on wood. But then again, most of you are on vacation with your kids, so a lot of you didn't send me questions. So that was weird. But moving forward, constantly send me questions. I'll do my best to answer them as quickly and speedily as I can. But you guys tend to like to hit me all on the same night for some reason, which is fine. 200 emails in one night makes it a little challenging, but I will do my very best.
Thanks for the chuckle, Mike.
Oh, Mike, that's a good one. Better not give it to Kristen.
Oh, Kristen has a joke. She's unmuting herself. It's coming.
Oh, I have a joke. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, I'm trying to be muted on another thing I have. What is a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
Down on the farm.
You're so bad. Hey, Kristen. What kind of pigs know karate?
Oh, pork chop.
Pork chop.
I got that one. That'll never happen again.
David would like to know, what did the parent buffalo say to the baby buffalo when he dropped him off at school? Bye, son.
See, this tells us that some of you have been
now
with
we
us.
have like whole chat going on it's a whole comedy show going on in the chat.
Yeah. This tells you that some of these people have been with us way too many years, and we know them way too well, which is awesome. We love all those people, but your bad jokes are as bad as ours.
Who's there? Josh Hughes.
Interrupting Cal. Yeah, I knew that was coming. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, unless there's any more good conversation or questions, we appreciate you stopping in and chat with us. We will continue to do this. You can definitely join our Camp Carpenter leaders page on Facebook. Feel free to jump in there, and we will be happy to add you to it, and we'll post up all these. And then we'll have this information going out. We'll have the Camp Carpenter Facebook page going out. And then the leader's guide is updated. And I believe our goal is to get out some more Camp Carpenter connectors as well. So as those things start coming out, we'll get that information out to you as fast as we can. If you would like a camp promo, we are in the midst of doing those. Kristen and I are booked up this week, almost every day. I think we have one this week. We're doing them virtually. Feel free to send me an email and I will be happy to get you on the schedule the best that we can. Maybe we'll combine a couple packs together if we need to get it out there. The difference is we can't talk with the parents in the back of the meeting after it. So we need you guys to continuously talk about camp at every unit meeting. So just keep talking about camp to keep the parents informed. And we're not going to keep anything hidden, nothing. We're going to keep it. We're going to be as transparent as possible so everybody knows what's going on.
There's a question about refunds if parents change their mind about changes at camp, and promos is emailing you, Mark, to get a promo.
Email me for promos. The question about refunds, that would be a Skip. I don't think Skip is in here.
No, he's in the main.
Yeah. I know there is a procedure and process that will be in place for that. So send me an email on it. I will forward it to Skip to get the details on that, because I'm not 100% sure on the details of how that's going to work out tonight. Who was that? That was Megan. Okay. I also wrote down Megan, so I'll follow through. All right. Well, it's a pleasure seeing everybody. We managed to go over an hour, which is typical for us as Cub leaders, because we love to chat. We miss you all. So hopefully we'll see you soon. Easter's coming up right around the corner. Get those kids to camp. Allison's got a lot of great Grant Base Camp stuff coming up at camp soon. What do you got coming up soon? Anything good?
Not till March 27th. The month of March is really hard to run program because you never know what season you're going to get. So I can't really plan for March. So we open in the spring. Actually, Derek and I decided this week we're going to do some sort of grand opening, some sort of party on March 27th for our spring date. So March 27th, April 10th, April 24th, and April 24th will be a big Earth Day celebration where older scouts can earn the Environmental Protection Agency Award, as well as the younger scouts will have the opportunity to do some conservation work. And to have all of our adventure will be based around that day.
So I will post up that. I'll post all that information up on the Camp Carpenter leaders page. So definitely sign up, because we know you guys love to go to camp. So we look forward to seeing you all soon at camp. So you can hang out with us for a few minutes, but we appreciate everything. And hopefully we'll see you all real soon, having a great time. So take care and stay healthy and stay warm. You could just leave, Melissa, but you will always stay here with me. I know.
I know. I don't want to leave you. Looking good with the green headset on. I like it.
Yeah. My specialty when it comes time for green screen.
Right.
That's how I make it work.
Oh my goodness. Well, good seeing you guys.
Yeah, good seeing you. Maybe I'll see you across town someday.
Yeah, right? You got to come to a troop meeting there, Mark.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
Mark, can I ask? Sorry, this is Megan, because I was being
Megan.
a pain. So I usually register everyone, so that's why I have all these questions. I don't actually attend camp, but
right.
my kids all do. So there's no changes this year to like the registration process, right? So
nope,
just
awesome.
So is the best way to just ask families to get their own adventure cards? Is that what most people are doing? And then
they get their own adventure card, and then you just note that they've got an adventure card, and then they cross-check that with a list, and then you should be good to go from there.
Okay, perfect. And then do you have any idea when the state you think is going to come out with guidance? Do you think it'll be sooner rather than closer to camp?
I know there's a lot of people pushing for it to be sooner rather than later.
Okay.
I heard a little rumor that March 1st was a magical date, but you know how this
Oh.
how the state works on that, so I don't believe
Yeah.
it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just have some families we have a lot of would-be first-timers last year, then didn't go. So they want to come, but they are nervous parents, plus with all the unknowns. So they've
Right.
never been, now won't be able to even really set their kids up. So I think I just have a lot of unanswerable questions, I guess, for my family. So I'm
Right.
just wondering if I'll have enough time before deposits are due to give them better answers.
Right. Yeah. No,
And
we
we
fully
don't know.
understand that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No, our pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.